Oh, sicky now. Hell yeah. I know my dogs are watching. And if you ain't, I know you will be. And if you are watching and you ain't my dog yet, you will be. Because my name is Sweet, and together we are going to get busy living. What's that, you say? We're going to go on 55 consecutive months on at least one epic adventure every single month. Thanks for joining us again on the Git Bizzy Living podcast. Tonight, it's about what we do when it seems hope is lost. Are you man or mouse? But first, since nothing is worth having if it isn't worth sharing, allow me to introduce my co-pilot, an entrepreneur out of Los Angeles and one of my all-time favorite humans, the dazzling Diana D. Rex Eckstein.
That never gets not funny to me. I don't know why. How nice to see you. I that surprised me.
The internet thinks it's funny too.
Oh my gosh. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'll tell you what, man, I'm up and ready for this. This keeps me going. I've been tested lately. And
I'd say.
I'm just really glad to be here. I know that I say it a lot and it's probably sounding repetitive to you guys, but it really is a great day to be alive. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Wow,
D-Rex,
yeah, you have
thank you
definitely been through, always being here. You have really been through a lot recently, and really all anybody knows is last week when we had the podcast without you is that you were in the hospital. So I think it'd be really good if you could just kind of catch people up on your adventures.
Well, I don't know that it was so adventurous. It started out like a typical Git Bizzy Living project adventure, where I was on my way. Actually, I arrived in Austin and meet up with CJ, and this is month 8 of 55. So we got 47 down and 8 down and 47 to go. So because of the stupendous friendships I have in my life, I was able to continue adventuring, even though Mother Nature took her best shot to get me out. I got hospitalized on the road in Austin. D-Rex, have you talked to CJ? I don't know how much of you guys are even like on that level. I know you guys met when you were in Florida.
We're friends on Facebook. That's about it.
This dude was telling a story. I'm gonna save the majority of the story for when we get Jigga J Cowcut on here, because he's got a good story to tell too. But I'm just gonna tell you that Curtis's face when I was going down in that hotel room, Curtis's face was the funniest damn face I've ever seen.
Why?
Remember? Because it was so animated. Curtis has, such animated characteristics, facial features anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was like a face off of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Remember Nintendo? Like you clock somebody and their eyes light up and their mouth lights up and they're just like ghost white and they're like, oh, like this dude was stolen.
Oh,
but no, man, I pulled into Austin on day 1 of the Git Bizzy Living project, day 2 actually of month number 2 of the Git Bizzy Living project, month number 8. Damn it, day 2 of the Git Bizzy Living project, 55. And I drove overnight and arrived in Austin. And Curtis met me downtown, and that was beautiful. I really am fully in love with that city. And we got some grub and went back to the hotel room and just stayed and kicked it like homies, just talked about, the things that have made us like aces since the beginning, and it got a little bit difficult for me to fall asleep. I started feeling what's called autonomic dysreflexia, which dysreflexia.
I've seen you go through that before.
It's no fun. For those of you that like the PubMed website, go ahead and look it up, but I'll tell you right here what it is. Basically, my body doesn't communicate through my nervous system very well because of a severed spinal cord. And so there's other ways for my body to communicate, and those pathways are hormonal. So it can send signals to make me sweat. It can send signals to make me nauseous. It can send signals to give me headaches. And my autonomic dysreflexia, whenever I go through it, presents itself in the form of headache. Or first I sweat, then I shiver, and then headaches, and then nausea, and then by then it's over. Like the headaches are killing me, and I've suffered through that like 6 times in the past year, a little bit plus. And this time I was going through it again, but usually, so it's hospitalized me several times. But recently, I've learned how to kind of get through that without going to the hospital. It just requires some surgery that I'm going to tell you about when Jake Jay is on the podcast. But it's not hard. It's just kind of weird, and it's kind of scary, and to have me squealing like a stuck pig while it's happening. But Curtis got me through it. The
I
problem is,
don't think I know what you're talking about, but is that next week you're going to tell us?
yes, we'll talk about that when Jake Jay gets on. Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you more detail, but paramedics came and they helped Curtis get me in my chair, and then I drove to the hospital. I drove to the hospital with my head feeling like a firecracker, and they admitted me and they told me that I had a stroke. Like they took MRIs and all kinds of different tests. I think first they gave me a bunch of pain medication that it took a while to knock me out, but it fucked me up for like 4 days. I'm still suffering from the side effects of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're better. I mean, you're
No.
better, but you're not best.
No, you know what has made me better? Doing this with you, D-Rex. Doing this with you. I have not had this type of energy since 2 weeks ago. It's been tough over, and like I'm screwing up in school, and I mean I'm keeping it together. You know, like all my teachers are aware of what's going on, but I'm definitely not going to graduate on time. This has really knocked me for a loop. But the paramedics helped CJ get me in the car, got me to the hotel, or got me to the hospital, and they told me that I had a stroke. And the next day, they told me that they can't treat stroke victims, and then I had to leave or get admitted to a different hospital. And it cost me money to be in the hospital. So it's not fun to be there, you know? And so I didn't like either of those options. And I was like, there's no way that I've had a stroke. There's no way, because I don't have any stroke factors. I don't eat the kind of foods that give you strokes. There's really no more to talk about. I don't care who you are. You know, we can go to battle over this. If you don't do the wrong things, you won't get strokes. I mean, there are ways for nature to hit you, and it gives you other things, but it's really, really, really extremely rare to have a stroke if you don't eat wrong. And we all know that I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I eat chicken wings here and there, but I earned the right to eat them. Okay. But so I knew the stroke was bullshit. And but I knew that the medics were not bullshit, and I was not going to let me leave because they weren't going to prescribe me any headache medicine. And so I just I was like, you know what, actually my friends, and that's another story, because Jiggy J, was one of the leaders of the pack, but my friends helped me take it seriously, and so instead of leaving the hospital, I let them transfer me. And that wasn't an easy decision, because I knew that meant my chair and my van would be left behind. So how the hell was I going to get out of the other hospital back to my chair and my van? But I did it anyway, because my stupendous friendships, they promised me that they would get my chair and my van to me, and they did. I was in the hospital overnight. I had an angel by my side by the end of the next day, pretty much. Curtis was there with t-shirts and underwear and toothbrushes and shit. Like, that's my dog. And he kept me company for a night, and then Tasha showed up. Love you, babe. Thank you for that. She showed up and was like I said, man, she was an angel. Like, she immediately started fending for me, and the hospital had to recognize. And I found out that it was actually a really wise decision to go to the second hospital, because it was one of the more reputable hospitals in the area. They had higher quality imagery, and they gave me every test I could get. They gave me all the MRIs you can get from your head to your abdomen. They gave me CT scans, which is just a different type of picture. They gave me a spinal tap, which they take and find out what's going on inside my spinal column. And the doctor was money. Dr. Lute, she was junk, man. She couldn't have been more than 40, but she had all the balls in that room, man. She came in, and when she first told me what was going on, I let her know right off the top. I'm like, I got a lot of experience with doctors. And I know that it's hard for them to deal with people like me, because I want to know all of the answer. You can't just talk me into taking meds. So by all means, take your time when you come in here. If you want to leave and come back, you can. But when you come back, get ready, because I'm going to keep you in here for a minute. You ain't getting no 7-minute exit. I need to know the details. And so she just broke it down to me, and said, she's like, look, the whole stroke thing is like, it's the furthest thing from what is most likely. She's like, you don't have any risk factors. And yes, what we found does have stroke as a symptom, but it's way more complicated than that. She's like, but it's a good thing you're here, because she's like, we're going to run all the tests we need. And so they have a lot of tests still that I haven't even gotten the answers back from. since I left there. So what they ended up doing was they took me a couple of days to get a few more MRIs and a few more, tests taken out of me. Like they took a ton of blood. It felt like every 10 minutes they were sticking me. I had bruises for 2 weeks on both of my
Oh,
arms,
wow.
arms from them sticking me. But thankfully, thank you, Tasha. Tasha bought a plane ticket on her birthday when
Yeah. Yeah.
when her
That's
family
crazy.
had planned on being with her, and she showed up and came in like Wonder Woman and just nailed it. Man, I can't. That girl deserves so much love from me and from everyone that cares about me because that.
Tasha's here, so thanks to you, Tasha. I mean, so much has happened
Mm,
on
thank you.
your time and on your time, and it's like you're just an amazing angel on earth.
I honestly could not express in words, and I'm pretty good with words. Her being there, it was like the weight of the world was taken off me. I didn't feel like I was dying anymore. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, man, she showed up and she took control, and they did all the tests that she told them to, and she got me on the road with enough meds to get me back to Phoenix, and she rode with me, and she rubbed my head when I had headaches, and it took us 3 days. First, we went to Amarillo, and then because she knew that I was adamant about getting busy living this month,
Mhm.
we went to the second largest canyon in the United States. We already did the Grand Canyon, so
What's the
what better?
second?
It's called Palo Duro. It's just south of Amarillo in Texas, and it was
Oh, who
badass.
knew?
It was badass. I need to get with Jay Sam and have him. Oh man, I'm sorry. I have been slipping huge on this aspect, but my boy Jay Sam told me he would help me create the movies of the Git Bizzy Livin Project episodes or epic adventures.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
just have not gone around to it because I was so overwhelmed with school before. I just barely was able to even leave to go do it. Anyway, I'm not going to complain about all that. I'm happy to be here. But
Yeah,
Tasha
I
came
mean,
in.
you were doing a lot already, and then you throw a health emergency on top of that, and it becomes too much.
I did not have
And
time to lose.
and it's not only that, like when you're faced with something that you don't know the cause of and you don't know what's going to happen, like that is a whole extra level of stress. It's not like, well, I broke my arm and now it just has to heal. It's like I'm still having this problem and it could get worse. It could go away. I have no idea. What's it from? That's some scary stuff.
Yeah, that reminds me. We have some things that we promised people that we would reveal to them, and so today, um, I really hope that I nail it today because, man, my circle of friends nailed it for me a couple weeks ago, and I can't express how sincere I am when I try to tell you guys that this Get Busy Living project, this Project 55, this 55 months in a row, this Help Swede Walk Again organization, this whole entire mission, I am doing it driven daily to continue doing it out of sheer gratitude. I woke up in peril, and here I am 5 years and 4 months later. 5 years, 4 months, and what, 9 days. So I really am dedicated to doing this for those of you that give a shit. And right now, as a matter of fact, please feel free to go to our YouTube channel, the Get Busy Living YouTube channel, and subscribe. Congratulations, D Rex. Got one to reveal the news? Come
Oh,
on. So, y'all, D-Rex is the star of unblogyourself.com, and she recently reached a milestone. Congratulations. I want to
I got
say,
1,000
hell
subscribers
yeah.
on my YouTube channel. So if anybody's subscribed to
Yeah.
that, then thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that we were going to talk about that on this podcast.
It's epic, babe. Listen, it takes a lot of work. I don't know. People that are just consuming YouTube are completely oblivious to the amount of energy and effort and that it takes to execute this. And you showed up every single week for I don't even know how many. We're at what 16 now. We had like 25 last year, so we're around 40 episodes until stuff really hit the fan, and I had to take a week off. But you nailed it every single week, and you have always been there when I needed you, and you've been there when I haven't been able to be there. And man, I couldn't be more grateful for you for
Oh,
all
well,
that you've
you're
done.
welcome. But I did miss 1 week due to COVID.
Well, that wasn't even a full week. That was just an extra episode, wasn't it? I don't remember
Oh,
doing
yeah,
a
I
week
think
by.
so, because it was like Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Something
Yeah,
crazy.
so
Okay.
I mean, seriously, I really appreciate the dedication. So, you know, when it comes to the big picture here, what I want people to get used to is this: three crucial questions each week to let you guys know really what it's about. What I've learned this week, you guys probably, if you're watching this, you probably saw the little skinny post or tell me talking online about how it hit the fan, person to person, you to me, man to man. That post that I put out there, that I said I had to back out of my favorite kind of day, a vacation in my favorite place, surrounded by my favorite people, and now I don't know what to say. So what I'm going to say is, first of all, I want to tell you guys about this study that I did a post about a while back. So this study was some scientists, the people that do studies, probably not veterinarians, threw a bunch of mice in water and timed how long they would swim until they drowned and let them drown. And got enough data to where they had it comparable enough, and they tossed a whole bunch of the same exact mice into the water. And right when they were sinking and about to drown, like they were out of breath and full of water, they rescued them and like resuscitated them and threw them back in the water. And what the most amazing thing is that those mice, once they'd been rescued, they swam the second time 70 times longer than the mice that died that did not get rescued. And it's not because they became 70 times stronger after almost dying once. It's not because when they got resuscitated, they were fed some special powers. It's because once that they believed that if they kept on going, they would get rescued, they kept on going. How amazing is that, D-Rex? 70 times longer. Those
That's not a small number. That is, if you think about like something that's twice as long, that's double. 70 times longer?
70 times. So basically, if they could swim for like 5 minutes, I don't imagine it was a long time. They've been chilling in a maze eating, their whole lives, and then they're swimming. They probably didn't swim long before they were like, screw this, like probably maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. That I didn't get that.
It's significant. It's significant because I mean you're
times.
faced with death, and you'll swim. You'll swim.
One of my favorite gifts I've ever received in my life, and I truly believe in generosity all the way to the core. When I was in my very, very first facility, when I first got out of, I got here back to the States, to my homie Casey Caldwell, kcdesigns.com with a Z at the end, sent me a plaque that hangs in my hallway right now. It's a Bob Marley quote. It says, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have." You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. I got to tell you, I appreciate all the love, and it fuels my fire. I get reminded regularly, that I inspire. And I'm telling you, man, it's because you guys rescued me. And I felt invincible before. Now, forget about it. Nothing's going to stop me. My brain's going to have to be completely broken. And that's what I mean by man or mouse. When you're starting to lose hope and it feels like you're drowning and like you're almost done for, you just got to believe. And you can probably go 70 times longer than you've already gone. If you just believe that if you keep on going, your community will rescue you. I've learned it firsthand. And I hope that as we continue to do this podcast weekly, every Thursday at 9 Eastern, I hope that you guys tune in and get some nuggets from us, because we're trying to share our experiences in life with you. We're not claiming to be sages. No, neither of us are gurus. We're just people that have been working our asses our entire lives and have learned lessons that were worth sharing. Can I get a hell yeah, D-Rex?
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, let's stop and say hi to people who are here.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
All right. Yeah. Hi, Ray.
My man
hi,
Ray is in the house. Hell yeah. You know where Ray's from?
Where? Oh.
Thanks for every PA is in the house. If you guys don't know that, don't give up the ship graphic is a joke between me and D-Rex from way back. But don't give up the ship is a slogan that came from the Battle of 1812, which took place in the harbor of Erie, Pennsylvania, on Lake Erie. It's by what was Admiral Perry, right? Admiral Perry, isn't that his name?
I like admirable.
Admiral Perry.
Admirable Perry.
Yeah,
it's funny because this stuff is just kind of like tossed at you and you just kind of take it for granted. But then when you go to recite it back, it's like, oh, do I really know anything about Admiral Perry? I don't think I do. But I know, don't give up the ship.
Yeah, I don't know much either, but he apparently went down with it. And what more appropriate story to tell about U.S. history about the man that was willing to die for the whole ship. Don't give up the ship was what he was saying and they ended up winning the battle. Like just when you think the whole hope is lost, I mean, listen, y'all, my girl Tasha is going through it, babe. Thank you for being here. She's got some shit going on at the house. So if you got positivity that you can put out into the universe, please send it her way. And I can't, like I already said, I can't even describe how crucial a role she played in getting me home from there. So the Get Busy Living Project 55, month number 8, was supposed to be the 420 canoe trip, which we were going to do on 422 for obvious reasons. Wink, wink. But I was going there for that. And I got held up in Austin. I was stopping to say hello to CJ. And so I had to turn back. I got diagnosed with a lesion on my cerebellum. And they could not figure out what exactly was causing it. I happen to think I know what causes it. So as most of you guys that read my Facebook post, and if you haven't, please go do that. And by the way, if you haven't done this yet, please go to the hswa.org and reserve your copy of the Life and Ear of Sweetisms book. It's going to be my my ode to you, trying to kind of catch you up to speed as far as the style and that I executed the mission before I got injured. Nothing in this Life and Ear of Sweetisms book is post-injury. It's all pre-injury. So it's somewhat of a preamble to the handbook to heaven, which we come into a shelf near you once I get all this other stuff handled. But yeah, $25 as a minimum donation. If you go to the HSWA, that'll get you on the list. That'll reserve you a copy. Once we get 2,000 copies, $25 times 2,000, 50 grand. That 50 grand is going to pay for the books to be shipped. It's going to pay for my man Schaefer to get some stem cell treatments, and it's going to pay for some of you to come on to an adventurous Alaska epic adventure. D-Rex, you got some thoughts about this adventure in Alaska?
I could pull up some pictures if you would like, but you got to give me a minute. Why don't you go ahead and say hi to who else is here for a minute?
Oh yeah. Rob Dog is in the house. Now, there's a couple of people that Rob Dog could be. I'm hoping that it's our future guest, Robbie Washington, who is a true dog. If you're not the dog I'm talking about, Rob, forgive me, but that's the vibe I'm picking up on. I want to say thank you to Lori for showing up and being a part of this project and this mission. We are doing our best. We can do better, and we will, but we're going to do what we promise you do. We're going to try to help you, little man, get busy living with us, okay? I've already said hello to Tasha, and babe, I could talk to you all night long, really. I'm just really thankful that you guys are here. It's me, Bubba. That's my dog.
All right, I have the pictures if you want to talk a bit about the adventurous Alaska trip.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's going to happen is once we get 2,000 reserved copies of the Life and Ear of Sweetisms book, then we're going to pick a winner out of the hat of the people that reserved a copy. And we're going to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wink, wink, more of that. And then we're going to send you and one other person to Alaska to go on Scooty Wells, the wolf himself, is going to take you on a 7-day, 6-night adventure in Alaska. And this dude can do it all. He can wrestle bears with his hands, and he can catch fish with his feet. I'm telling you, the dude can help you kill Bigfoot and take you on a cruise. He can get you swimming in some ice pots and boats on glacier rivers. You name it, Scooty Wells can do it. The Adventurous Alaska mission is somewhat congruent and parallel to the Help Sweet Walk Again organization's Get Busy Living Project 55. So we're looking forward to the future when we can conglomerate and send you guys up there for 6 nights of doing whatever it is you want. Look, if you're not the outdoorsy person, he'll take you on a train ride. and you can see it all from the comfort of your cabin. Or if you are the
It's
outdoor,
whatever level comfort you have.
that's important. Look, we're going to pay for your ticket. We're going to pay for the whole show. And then we're going to send you back home with the most epic adventure you've ever been on. And look, if there's anybody that knows how to go on epic adventures, it's Scooty the Wolf Wells. I mean, I'm telling you that, he's the original mastermind behind the Git Bizzy Believin project. If it wasn't for him leading by example, I never would have taken off and gone on the epic adventures that I've gone on. Like, I honestly think that Scooty Wells is the reason that the original 54 months in a row happened, because he just set the pace, man. He just hadn't started giving me the fever. So yeah, I mean,
Well,
you will not be disappointed.
our guest Brian Schuerman, the outdoorsman, the paratrooper, he told me that that's actually him in this picture here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That doesn't surprise me that it's not Scott, but it didn't surprise me that it would be, because that dude ain't scared of nothing. Yeah. So,
well, I want to also say hi to Melissa Morgan here.
Oh,
Hello.
What's up, cousin? Oh, so Mestiza. So thank to her, she's another person that showed up and showed out. Look, every little bit of love. I mean, I got so much love for that girl. We can hit that Erie graphic again, because she's another one that went to school in Erie. But she graduated from Central, and she was my homie. Like, me and Fatty and Roach got a job at Burger King up on Upper Peach, and Melissa had a job up there. When she got a job there, oh my God, you want to talk about the sweetest little thing, the most adorable.
I bet you that shift, and I can't speak for Melissa, but that shift doesn't sound like a very productive shift.
Actually, we work hard. Don't get me wrong. It was fun.
Okay.
It was fun. In fact, you know what? Look at this. Okay, check this out. This is a weird coincidence that we even brought this up, Melissa. You might even remember this. So this shirt, see how it's like a Superman symbol, and then it says J Sweet in there? I don't know if you guys can see that.
I've never seen this before. Wow.
So they made this when I was in a coma. Yeah, they made it when I was in a coma. And I've been losing a little bit of weight so I can fit it again. But no, so the cool thing about that is we were working at Burger King, and we had some downtime, and I folded this. I was like 16, maybe 17 years old. I folded this aluminum foil into the shape of a Superman symbol. And then I drew this on it. I drew this J Swede in the Superman symbol on there. In black Sharpie on this Superman symbol shaped aluminum foil. And then years later, I got all the pictures that I'd taken of all you and everybody else from high school and the years before and after, put them all together. And I took that aluminum foil, I actually took it home with me and kept it in my room. I folded it into a photo album, and the edges got folded over because the photo album wasn't as wide as the whole Superman symbol. And then years later, I had some friends visiting me in Destin from Tallahassee. Shout out to Jimbo Williamson, my man. He comes to my house and he sees this tin foil in that photo album, and he's an excellent carpenter, and he made so it looks like the sides are cut off because that's how it was folded over in the in the book. So it doesn't look completely like the Superman symbol. That's why it's like cut off on the side. But excuse me, Jimbo made it out of wood, and it was so cool. And I had this felt board in my kitchen that had all kinds of memorabilia and stuff on it, like pictures from concerts and pictures and postcards and all that kind of stuff on it. And Jimbo gave me this wooden Swede symbol, and it stuck to the cardboard or to the felt without any kind of anything. Excuse me. It stuck so well that I got into the habit of like tossing it from across the kitchen and seeing if I could get it to stick, and it would stick just about every time. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink here.
Okay, so Greg, I like how it says Greg riding your yacht. I said yacht expert. And he says he doesn't think that he's the don't give up the ship dude, and you might be correct, because I don't think Swede and I know what we're talking about when it comes to Erie history. We just know that we had a lot of fun there, and there was a nautical theme to it all. But yeah, we don't really. We don't know anything.
So speaking of the guest list, Greg is going to take some time out of his busy schedule and spread some of his knowledge when it comes to what it takes to get busy living one of these days too. I can't wait to get you in contact with Greg D-Rex. You guys are going to love each other. He's such an easy guy to like, man. Really, really, really cool dude. it's funny because I think when I was describing him to you, and I don't want to spoil the show, but
Well, then don't.
so Greg, I told you that he's one of the more mild mannered of the men among that me JFT have hung out with, but he's a good dude, man, for real. So I know that I've got a little bit off track. I am really hopeful that you guys will go to the hswa.org and reserve your copy. Also, go check out unblawyourself.com where D-Rex is the star of the show.
I'm just going to throw this down here. And then maybe we should, I don't know, what are you talking about here? Blood-brain barriers. I didn't even know this was a thing
I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about the fact that, when the mice kept going, they thought they were going down, and when you're in the hospital and they're telling you that you have a lesion on your cerebellum and that they're going to they either want to keep you there for weeks or they're going to give you enough medication to get home, and that you need to go get it addressed, it feels like you're a drowning mouse. And so they told me I had a lesion on my cerebellum, which could be caused by several different things. But all I know is that it's been giving me the worst headaches for the past 2
And
weeks.
it's a scary thing. That is a scary thing to hear. That something's happening to your brain.
Yeah. It's definitely not the best diagnosis. I'd rather have a sprained ankle.
I mean, brains are amazingly resilient, but you still don't want anything happening to it. Usually when a part of the brain gets damaged, the rest of the brain works together to create new pathways around that damage. And I'm hoping that's what's happening for you right now. But honestly, we really, we're all just kind of waiting for you to get some results back so we can figure out what's going on here, so we can get back to all these adventures we were having. And you know what? Let's talk about that really quick. So when you were going to Florida, but you ended up in Austin, Texas, let's just call that your last, most recent trip. That's when you ended up in the hospital, and you couldn't continue on to Florida because we have to get to the bottom of this health issue, whatever it is. And you had to come back home. So we're not giving up on the adventures, guys. We're not just going to stop.
As a matter of fact, D-Rex, that because of Tasha's help, I was able to go to Palo Duro. As far as I'm concerned, that was an epic adventure. And so it's actually 8 down, 47 to go.
Oh, so you're counting that one. Okay.
I mean, it was an epic adventure. I mean, I'm gonna get my man Jay Sam. We're gonna get some of that content put together and help you guys understand that it really was seriously epic. She helped me make it home. Since then, it's been doctors and headaches and doctors and headaches. And let me just tell you guys that it's pretty obvious that systems are breaking down all around us when it comes to the government and how we're being manipulated. But there's nothing worse than the healthcare system, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful to be here. So I guess I'm should be putting my foot in my mouth right now, because if without the healthcare system, I wouldn't be here. I'm giving it that credit. But they're telling me there's not enough neurologists in this city to see me.
Yeah, and that's wild because it's a big city.
There's
Phoenix
8 million
is a
people
huge
here, and there's
it's
over
a
10.
major city.
So I'm they got me on this miracle waiting list in case there's a cancellation, which means in case somebody dies. How fucked up is that?
Yeah, that is messed up. Because who knows what this is with you? Who knows how urgent it is? And they're just like, yeah, wait.
So they told me that if I am afraid for my life, to go to the emergency room.
That doesn't sound like a
Optimism.
good way to go.
I mean, I've never really been afraid. I've never really been afraid for my life. Even after, I'm telling you, when I watch the video that's on the Help Street Walking YouTube channel that has the huge party vow on it, you know what I'm talking about? Oregon, it's on there. Just scroll down once you get to the homepage, and there's a video of me in the emergency room in Bali, and I don't remember making the video, but it's like, if you guys help me out of this jam, I hope I'm gonna throw you guys a huge party, And when I watched that a couple months later and saw it for the first time and saw that it had 20,000 live views on it, I was like, damn, man, how many people do I owe a huge party to? You know? But the truth is that even when I was laying there paralyzed, even when I was tripping and I thought I had been sold to terrorists for wall art because of the medication, I never had a doubt. It is almost like I've had this utmost belief. I'm telling you, man. When Grams put me in that Superman suit for Halloween and told me to fly off the porch, it's like ever since then I believe I can fly. And even when I was at my worst, I read a post that I did where the Swedes backbone of stone hashtag came from. I don't remember that shit. Micah was like, here, she's talking to me because they got me medicated. I'm in like La La Land or whatever. But Micah's in the room with me apparently and had me write this post, which I don't remember writing. But I was talking about, not having any fear of a failure because I feel like so many people had my back. And, even though I'm having blood-brain barriers, I do feel like there was a community. I don't remember that 2 weeks. I woke up on January 2nd, 2018. I fell on January 18th. It's exactly 2 weeks. I woke up in the hospital in Malaysia and got told about how so many people came together and just started spreading the word. And Scooty Wells loves to tell the story about some guy. Actually, maybe I'm the one that loves to tell the story. But he describes it the way he described it to me when I first came out of the coma. He's like, man, the Associated Press and Sports Illustrated and like Lyric and like interviews and craziness and people coming out of the woodwork, people you met on your travels, people that you went to elementary school with, people. He's like, I've been on the phone more than I've been asleep since this started going down. And when we get to the point where which is in the very near future, where we start mastering these podcasts down and put them in audio form. The first story is going to be Scooty Wells telling his version of what went down when I got injured. His version includes, him being at work and seeing it on Facebook and immediately quitting his job like in 5 minutes, and I'll let him tell the rest. But
don't we all wish we had a friend that amazing?
By the time Scott got there, Elmo and Nelly, my friends from Bali, who are two of the dearest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, I cannot over exaggerate how huge these people's hearts are. I don't know if it's because they have Balinese in them. Elmo has, Dutch also, or if it's just because we clicked. But man, and Nelly and Elmo came to the rescue as well. And Jerry was to the rescue, and I can't even name it. As far as I know, you were to the rescue, and I know Tasha was to the rescue, and my girl Ruby, and Baby Mama, and Lyric, and Swells, and Kiro, and name after name after name after name after name. And I heard the story from Scott about how some guy that I met at Chili's, I bought him a shot and told him crazy stories and took a picture and sent it to him on Facebook Messenger, and he's been reading everything I've wrote ever since. If you're curious about what he's been reading, go reserve yourself a copy of the Git Bizzy Believin or the Life in the Air of Swedism's book. I'm telling you, we can't afford to mail it until we get 25 reservations. So the people that have donated
25 reservations?
2,000.
Yes.
$2,025 reservations. Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you for catching that. $2,025 reservations. That will enable me to fulfill the promise of the books. It will allow me to fulfill the promise of helping one of 10 at least. I would love to be able to help 10. It's all going to depend on the people that volunteer. So by the way, if you want to get in on that, by all means, go to send nominations at the Help Sweden Walking at the hswa.org. We have an email, nominations at the hswa.org. If you have somebody that you feel could benefit the way that I benefited from having a community serving me the way that my community serves me and rescued me from my deathbed, the mission of the Help Sweden Walking is to help people the way that I've been helped. So if you know somebody that can use some help, by all means, tell us their story. Nominate them at nominations at the hswa.org. And so the proceeds from those $2,025 donations are going to go to getting somebody on the adventure in Alaska. They're going to go to getting those books shipped, and they're going to go to helping at least Schaefer. But the more we nominate and the more we can help, the more we will. Trust me, guys. If we get these books shipped and we get one of you guys on that adventurous Alaska tour, and we show other people what we're able to do with the power of this community, it's going to blow up. And you have my word. I owe it to you. to turn all the revenues that we generate right back towards you. Now, obviously, it's the Help Street Walk-In organization is a nonprofit, which nonprofits are run just like every other business. They have operating costs and expenses and so on and so forth. I got StreamYard bill every month. So the donations, although I've been paying for this entire project out of my pocket up to this point, and all the things that have been donated so far were almost at $3,000. But the goal is to get that many books out and to get some people into Alaska and to get Schaefer some help. And from there, if once we achieve that $2,025 reservations, can you imagine what type of momentum we'll have by then?
That trip to Alaska, when someone wins that, I'm sorry, I'm on a podcast and I can't even talk today. When someone wins that raffle and they get to go on that amazing trip to Alaska, and suppose that was me, just suppose for a second.
Because you are in there. You're in there. You're a contestant on the Price is Right. $25 donation.
I just don't think anything could compare to helping Schaefer get his stem cell treatments,
Amen.
So I'm really looking forward to getting this thing going, guys. So definitely stop by the hswa.org and see what you can give, or maybe make it a fundraiser for your birthday. Who knows? Tasha did. And she did. Let's say hi. Let's say hi to some people. I want to say hi to Aaron, who I've known forever and ever. Our families used to go to church together when we were very young. Amazing. Hey, Shwoy Boy's here.
Shwoy Boy, I'm not a smart man, but sweet has no lack of brains. I say like Forrest Gump, I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. My man, Shwoy Boy, I love you, dog.
And Lori's here, and I want to read this because I feel like it's important. I understand more than you know the struggle with finding a neurologist and getting in within a year to their practice. Can you imagine, guys? You're trying to get to the bottom of an issue with your brain, and you can't get in for a year. And imagine, like, it's your child in the case of Lori, and you'd do anything to help your child. You can't get in with a year. So there's definitely something lacking in our healthcare system that we could benefit from more doctors and more concentration on bringing down costs and making things make sense. It's a whole episode that we're not doing right now, but
we need to put that on our list because there's a lot of people out there that could benefit from the truth. And I can promise you that we might not always talk about the current events or things that are getting broadcast across the airwaves. We don't go to YouTube and find out what people are searching for. We're expressing ourselves to you guys generously and honestly. But the truth is really what you're going to get from us. And we're trying to shine light on things when it comes to attitude and mindset. They're going to help you get busy living. What does that mean? That's a purposeful, deliberate, intentional life. A purposeful, deliberate, intentional life. And get busy living means different things to different people. When me and Scooty Wells were first talking about the Git Bizzy Livin project back in 2016, it was nothing like what it is now. But it has always captured the essence of taking control of your life, stepping off the hamster wheel, unless you really just love running, but stepping off the hamster's wheel whenever you damn well please, and doing what you want. Get busy living an intentional life and deliberately do what you want to do. And look, none of us can do it alone. And that's why community service is at the bottom of this 3 crucial questions list. What community are you serving? If you want things out of life, be giving things. We're pouring into this podcast for you guys, but we want you to pour back into it and pour into each other. We really are hopeful to create a community here, and hopeful that by you guys tuning in with us once a week, every Thursday at 9 Eastern, that you'll pick up some nuggets. D-Rex, you have expressed several times in the history of this podcast about the importance of community and how your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah, it wasn't something I had put intentional effort in until, I don't know, maybe the past 5 years or a little more. I kind of expected life to just hand me some friends, and in some cases it does. They might be your coworkers, or your kids go to school together. You end up meeting people, but you just
Or
simply can't expect that to be everything. You have to kind of actively get out there and curate your tribe, you know? You have to find
absolutely.
those people that you want to be with and that you
Speaking
can
of,
support and support you.
man, there's so much to say about that. I had a good talk with Short Boy today, and he's got some things to share. I'm interested to see
Mm.
how he articulates what his struggle has been. But I'm wondering about his community service. Not the service, the community service that he's serving, like parole or probation, but like Short Boy's got a huge heart, man. He all you got to do is ask, and he will be there. He will be there. So I know that he's feeling somewhat lost in 2023 because the amount of effort that he's willing to put into people aren't necessarily it's not necessarily getting reciprocated. And I think I told him earlier, I was like, I feel like a lot of us feel that way because we're so easily entertained by our phones that we don't notice that people are pouring into us. And the people that we are pouring into probably aren't getting nearly as much love as our phone is, even if we're the biggest pourers. And Schwartz Boy is one of the biggest pourers, man. He goes all out for everybody that ever wanted his help. And he's like, man, sweet. He's like, I just don't know, if what's he saying? No matter what's going on, you got this. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah, that's my dog. See, you got to believe, man. None of this matters if you are walking around just hoping and you start to feel your hope losing, then you're hopeless. But if you have stout belief, if you have a purpose in your life, you believe in that purpose, and you are pouring into your community, you are not going to go down. Not in 2023. I mean, the people that are dying these days, and everybody's going to die someday, so you might as well just get busy living while you can. But if you're dying today, usually you are getting a lot of human resources poured into you before you go. That's another wonderful thing about this country. Believe me, coming from a man that almost died overseas, as soon as I got back to the U.S., I was in good hands. If it wouldn't have been for you guys, my American friends and my Australian friends and my Indonesian friends and my European friends, and I did have some African friends and a few South American friends, but those three places, America, Australia, and Indonesia, were where the bulk of my time was spent and my friendships were formed. Luckily, because of the travels and because of the friendliness, I had people on other continents as well. The only one I didn't get any donations to the cause was from Antarctica. I can't believe you fucking slackers were down there.
That's what they say about people in Antarctica. Slackers.
I know, they're just down there camping out, like soaking up the sun. I ain't gonna lie though. Okay, so we got 48, there's 8 down, 47 to go. And where's next one going to be? I honestly don't know. And I know, D-Rex, when me and you set out on this mission, I wasn't sure if starting while I was still in school was a good idea. I probably should not make up my mind yet of whether it was a good idea. But the ideas that I pitched to you, as far as the thoroughness of what we were going to execute, I know that not everything that I promised you has come true. But there will be a time when we have the ability and the infrastructure to be able to allow people to vote on where we're going to take these Git Bizzy Believin project epic adventures to. And hopefully as time goes on and we master this, and I especially, you're already an expert, it seems like, especially you got to go to unblowyourself.com and look at this girl execute over there. I'm telling you, we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna be able to do things like Antarctica.
Yeah, where we're gonna slack off in Antarctica. That's what you do.
Sunbathe.
So, let's just talk for a second about, we were saying there's no stopping, even though, you really have to, get the results of your test and figure out why you're getting these headaches. And I got to say, you're doing remarkably well right now, because I know you've been struggling with these headaches for weeks. And every time I talk to you on the phone, I hear it. I hear your headache. But it's not going to stop us from adventuring. But we are going to maybe keep it a little closer to home for the next few while we, get this figured out. And I think that this is going to be an excellent way to show people that it doesn't, traveling and getting busy living doesn't mean going across the country or leaving the state even, that there's so much to do and so much living to do just right around where you live.
So I just decided I was going to I was going to confirm and clarify, but you know what? Why negotiate? The truth is that I am looking forward to this more than probably anything I've looked forward to. Save my daughter's birth and getting out of that fucking nursing facility. But I am looking forward to meeting Tasha's dad.
Oh.
So May, I'm actually going to go to Denver, and they're going to meet me there. And we're going to make one of the most
Mm,
beautiful drives this country has to offer, from
that's
Colorado
true.
Springs through Grand Junction into Moab, down from Moab through the Rio Grande Gorge into Santa Fe, and then from Santa Fe over to Phoenix. If you think there's a more beautiful place on earth, bring it, because I've done these routes, and it's a good damn thing that my car drives itself, because I'm gawking the whole time. And wait until I get Jason Money to help me with collaborating the content that I've created, and get it out there so we can share it with you guys. But every single one of these months, we've got 8 down, we've got 50 to 47 to go. Every single one of these months, we've captured content, and I have a lot of it. It's completely my fault that I haven't gotten it out there to you, but I've got a lot to share. And this one in May, I decided. So, Tasha, if you don't show,
Okay.
I'm coming to get your dad.
Well, that is going to be an amazing drive. And I think that a lot of people that maybe haven't been to the Southwest don't understand the beauty that is in the Southwest. I certainly didn't. And I had to really see it for myself. I had to have somebody drag me there before I understood what's available in our own country. I mean, it's as exotic as going to the Sahara. And then there are parts that are like going to Alaska. And there's so much within even Arizona to go and see. And then if you're going to include like the 4 states right there, was it New Mexico, Utah? I'm missing one. Not Nevada.
Colorado, Arizona,
Yeah, yeah,
Colorado,
yeah,
New
yeah.
Mexico, and Utah.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Four Corners.
We're right there. Oh my goodness, guys. There's so much to see.
I'm telling you,
And
that is the crosshairs of the most spectacular landscape on the planet. It starts in Alaska, and the Rocky Mountains flow all the way down, and all that water that makes it over the mountain peaks flows into the Mississippi River and into the Great Lakes. But that landscape, for my money, I don't know. I've heard the eastern or the west coast of South America is equally spectacular with the Amazon River, but it's hard to beat. And we were talking about this right before the show started about keeping it local. I don't consider Colorado local, but I do consider that it's worth it, because
how many hours?
for me to get to Colorado one day. Listen,
Oh,
it doesn't matter
I
if I'm
call that
sitting in this
local.
chair. Yeah, if it could do it in a day, then pretty much the whole East Coast is within reach. Because I'm telling you, I sit in this chair for 18 hours a day, whether I'm behind that steering wheel, letting my car drive itself, or if I'm, at this desk doing my homework. So the only problem is when I do that traveling, I'm obviously not doing homework. And believe me, I am stretched to the max with trying to keep up with that stuff. The times that I've shared with my friends, they have no idea how much time I spend in the studio by myself working on school. So those of you that are close with me, and see me spending an hour with you on the phone, it ain't because I got hours to share or spare. It's just because I give a shit about you and why you're calling me, and so I do that. You know what I mean? But it's not like I just have time to give away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you
So
certainly don't.
I
So,
do. I
hey, do you
do.
want to tell people about your graduation date? Because you mentioned something, but you didn't elaborate earlier.
Yeah, so I do want to, after I talk about this, I want to say hello to all the people that are here. It's very
Yeah.
important that I go down and read these comments. I have been doing a lot of the usual sweet yapping, and I honestly haven't heard what you guys have been talking to me about. So I do want to take some time doing that. But as far as my graduation date, so I was supposed to graduate in a couple weeks, and I just had some setbacks, and so some of my classes I'm not going to be finished with by the time this semester's over. So I'm going to drag on into the summer, and so I'll probably walk in the fall. I mean, there's virtually nothing holding me back from the fall. Graduating in this summer, this December. other than me just finishing. I've already paid for all the classes. I've already started all the classes, and I'm very dedicated to finishing all the classes. If you guys know anything about me, you should know that. And if I set my mind to something, I'm getting it done. So yeah, I was hoping to be able to focus solely on the HSWA and on the Git Bizzy Living project starting this summer. I was hoping to be done with school and be able to turn full steam ahead on these projects, but I am going to have some lingering responsibilities with school. But make no mistake, there's no way that I'm not going to graduate. And it's going to take some serious momentum with this podcast to keep me out of going back to school sometime in the near future. I just really do. I love learning, man. I love the interaction with the professors. I love being in touch with academia. I mean, it's kind of crazy and scary what's going on in the universities these days, as far as like the grip that the extremists have on how they teach and what they're teaching, and how sensitive they are to school children raising hell, which is essentially what's happening with all these crazy things going on these years. But I like it. I like being around people that are thinking, and so I probably will go back to school. But for now, I've paid for all my classes. I just got to finish them up. It's going to take me a little bit longer than May, but I'll get her done. Know that. So I want to say, I saw you, Rob Dog. We're going to get you on, brother. Just hit me back on my text. I appreciate you. He calls everybody Bubba, and it's so endearing. I love that dude, man. So I'll give you a little bit of a hint about this guy. So Robbie, who was one of the coolest people near the Destin Harbor for a decade, was the victim of a tragic accident. And I'll let him tell you the rest of his story, but he's out here getting busy living too. So when you guys see that Robbie Washington is going to be our featured guest, make sure you tune into that one. Thank you, Mistiza, for coming to see me at the hospital in Austin. You know that I'll be back while Curtis is there. Greg, bro, I'm looking forward to getting you on. Thanks for the history lesson.
We needed it.
And then Lil Boozy, I love seeing her. We had such a good time in North Carolina. She went to the Steelers game with us, and that was really cool. And so I wonder who this Lone Star MTC. Oh, hey Sean, it's Brandy. Oh, what's up, girl? That's so she. Oh, girl, we got stuff to talk about. That's Tasha's friend. She has the ability to improve the handicap transportation situation in certain places, and I have a desire to help her with that because I know.
Wow, that's somebody we need to have on the show.
I told her, I was like, I'm gonna get you watching, and we're gonna get you on here one of these days. And so,
Randy, we're gonna get you.
Ray said, "How many are sold already? Let's drive it." Ray, I want to stress something to you, brother, man. It's how many donations have been accepted. We're not selling books; we're accepting donations. We firmly believe in the power of generosity. That what you give, you get back double. So you just have to donate a minimum of $25 at the hswa.org to reserve your copy. We're not selling anything, bro. We're just accepting donations and trading you a book and possibly a trip to Alaska in exchange for it. So I see that Lil Boozy was talking about hell yeah. And now look at this, Lord Colonna. You guys are the best. And you can make a recurring donation on the website. Yes, you can go to the website and you can make a recurring donation. How awesome would it be? Imagine this, if there's 2,000 people that are willing to donate $25. Imagine if those same 25 or those same 2,000 people started doing $1 donations recurring. Do you know that from that point on, we would always have somebody on those epic adventures with us? Instead of me saying, I'm going to meet Tasha and her dad in Denver, and we're going to do epic adventure number 9, I'd say, we're going to pull a name out of the hat, and I'm going to be meeting Tasha and her dad and the winner in his +1 in Denver, and we're going to get busy living, you know? So you can do recurring donations at the hswa.org. You only got to put $1 down a month, man. I'm telling you, man, my people are good at tracking that, and we will be sending our appreciation, and we will gather this collective generosity and try to help you guys get busy living with the funds that we generate. I mean, that's a legitimate goal with the money. So, Bougie said, my parents gave your loving mother a ride every Sunday. It wasn't clear.
That's for me. Yeah, my mom used to drive a motor scooter. And honestly, that's not easy to do, guys, in Erie, Pennsylvania. Drive a motor scooter in that weather. Not only that, she had 2 girls. It's like when we had to go someplace as a family, she'd have to drive one of us, come back and get the other one. And for her to get to church on a rainy day, it was tough. So yeah, Aaron's parents came to the rescue. And my mom loved to go to church, so that was a big deal. So thank you for that.
So I don't know which of these D-Rex you have put up here yet, but I'm going to just go ahead and throw these up
Okay,
here.
yeah, go ahead.
TJ, you know my man Smiles. Smiles, bro. He's one of my all-time favorite people. You know, I might blow people up a lot because I just love my friends, man, but I can't say enough about this guy. Once we started kicking it, we were at the sunrise regularly, just sober homies watching the sun come up because we had such good conversations and such similar, entertainment values. You know, we're both just people lovers. There's a reason that I call him Smiles. Everybody calls him TJ Smiley. But man, to me, that's too many syllables for how awesome that dude's smile is. Probably the biggest grin on the face.
That guy
So
is
man,
a vibe. Then he's just a whole vibe.
yeah. Later on, he said, "Miss y'all in Destin this month." So yeah, seriously, Smiles. I'll be getting back there. So tentatively, if all goes well with this blood brain stuff, I'm hoping to make it for the 4th of July. I'm not going to make an official announcement, although I kind of let loose about that a little bit ago. As long as I get some encouragement, you guys keep fueling my fire. I would love to be able to do the 4th of July in Destin. So Smiles, don't worry, I'm coming back at you, brother. So Brandy says, I would love that. I'm telling you, girl. I'm telling you, getting you up here. She's got a good story, and the way her and Tasha started going at it together, I can already tell the enthusiasm and charisma that girl brings to the show. And Ray said, great show. Hey, guys, we appreciate that, man. If you really give a shit, man, please, by all means, feel free to forward that link that I sent you if I sent you one. And if I didn't send you one, feel free to just share the Get Busy Living YouTube channel. We need subscribers, like D-Rex, you killed it. You worked your ass off. You got 1,000 subscribers in the same amount of time that I've only gotten 200. So I need you guys' help, guys. I need you guys' help.
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for being here tonight. We always appreciate you being here for this communal effort and saying hello in the comments so we can actually engage with you. It's has been a really amazing time. And thank you, everybody, for chiming in tonight. And thank you, Swede, for catching us up on what's going on and showing us your unflappable enthusiasm for life. It's just amazing. You just keep rising from the ashes in Phoenix there.
They keep on knocking me down, but you guys keep on texting me, and I keep getting right back up. So keep up the good work, guys. I'm telling you, man, we are all in this together. Always remember, no matter the weather, we're all in this together. Whether sunshine or rain, whether joy without pain, there's no joy without pain. Always remember, we're all in this together. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah. Bye, everybody.
You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me.